Greetings, community, and welcome to Entropy and Comics and another edition of Kevin's most anticipated reads tomorrow for New Comic Book Day, 11/26/2025. We are once again, and it's great to be alive. I appreciate each and every single one of you that cruises on through. Without you, it'd only be as half as much fun as it truly is. Now then, let's get started because there's only two, but we're going to get right through them because they are really some great reads. Starting it off, we're going to cruise over and talk about Image Comics. We're going to first start us off with Department of Truth, issue number 34. I can't get enough of the series. This is something that I'm looking forward to. They're actually making two type of series. I really hope that this makes it to Netflix or Amazon or something because this really needs to be some type of series. Department of Truth has not only started off itself as a great series that grabbed not only the attention of individuals like myself that are into, well, at least somewhat reading about and kind of entertaining the idea of certain conspiracy theories. I'm not a conspiracy theorist at all, but I do love the side stories that come along with some of this stuff. It just intrigues me like no other. So I am looking forward to Department of Truth. And this series, like I said, has now been pushing over 3 years, and it's just amazing. It's not something you can kind of jump in midterm if you're really interested in something really different. Department of Truth is not only something that you might find truly different, but you have to go quite a distance back, pick up a few volumes of trades to even get a slight understanding of what this thing's all about. Before I go ahead and move on to my next book, I want to go ahead and welcome over to hanging out with me, Bitch Cat, and I thought I saw Jag in here. Yeah, and Jag, I appreciate you guys for hanging out with me. I truly do. Let's move out from Department of Truth, issue number 34, and cruise over and talk about Escape, issue number 4. I have to admit, there's going to be a few books on this list that I did not actually read the books that, preceded them, that stated. That doesn't mean that I'm not looking forward to them. It just means that I'm not quite caught up. Stated. Escape, issue number 4, is basically we're still following our downed pilot. He is injured. He's kind of like waking up from a daze. That's where we kind of find ourselves in issue 4. I not quite got to issue 3, but I know that that's where we're entering into issue 3. He's about to get jacked. I just see where this is going. So I'm not only looking forward to reading issue 3, but issue 4 coming out on 11/26/2025. Let's cruise out from Escape and cruise over to Feral, issue number 18. Anybody that knows Tony Fleeks knows that he is a exceedingly talented writer. The works that he first did that really put him on the map, in my opinion, was Stray Dogs. Before that, he was doing a lot of art and was really well known with the pony stuff. So he had the art down, he had the storytelling down, he just had to combine the two. We ended up with Stray Dogs. After the success of Stray Dogs, he was asked to do an ongoing series, something along the same vein, along the same lines, given the same feeling, but deeper in all regards. That's what we're all with Feral. We got a story of cats, domesticated, try to find their way back home. And along the way, they're just getting all but mauled. Everything is rabid out there. A nasty outbreak came down in the town. Everyone is just destroying their pets. And now we're following a small group of animals. They're just trying to get back to the home. Once they did, their caregivers were no longer there. So now they're just looking to survive. They find a place that they think is sanctuary. They can't quite follow the rules because the rules are nuts. You don't follow them, you end up finding out that you get eaten alive. So here we are with our cats, who essentially just trying to get out what they thought was a nice sanctuary. And that's where we're at here with issue 18, ending the third aspect to the arc of the ongoing series that is Feral. Let's move out from Feral and cruise over to Geiger, issue number 18. All right, now we're really starting to combine these stories of the ghost machine thing because we are now blending Redcoat, Geiger, Junkyard Joe. All this stuff is really starting to come interweave a little bit, and we're hopefully going to get some understanding why in this particular storyline we end up with seeing the Northerner along with Geiger, and the only one that can help the Northerner is Geiger. And now that a lot of things are happening in this story, I want to know what's going on because everything is starting to affect everything else. And those of you that know that with the success of this Ghost Machine universe, we're getting one of the first public works of Redcoat now being worked on as far as the actual movie. Geiger was being held off because of the actual organization aspect to the labor. It looks like Redcoat's probably going to come out first. I didn't think that was going to happen, and now the timeline got a little bit messed up. But being that stated, everyone is now back in the Redcoat, which means that everyone's going to be back in the Geiger. You're going to start seeing the sales go back up on the second market, which means if you're remotely interested, tell your shop. Go ahead and pre-order these books. Go ahead and get yourself online so you know that you're going to go ahead and get your book, so you're not showing up at the day of the drop and not getting your book. Geiger, issue number 18, coming out on 11/26/2025. Let's cruise out from Geiger and cruise over to Skinbreaker, issue number 3. Unfortunately, it's another one of those that I'm not quite up to date on. Issue number 2, I've yet to read. It's right there. It's right there. It's right there. I read issue number 1. It was a great introduction. I'm really looking forward to this series. It's kind of a barbarian story that's uniquely its own in its own little fantasy way. I'm looking forward to getting deeper into the story. I like the introduction with the issue number 1. Issue number 3 comes out tomorrow. Got to play a little catch up. Just saying. Looking forward to jumping into a little marathon read with both issue number 2 and 3 coming out tomorrow. Let's move out for Skinbreaker, which is a Kirkman thing. Everything touches. Just saying. And let's cruise over to the Universal Monsters, The Invisible Man, issue number 4. Now, all right, let's go ahead and get into this a little bit. This is a unique story all of its own because unlike all the other Universal monsters, we end up seeing monsters that are inherently taken from a situation and then monstered out. Now, they're just kind of labeled as such, but when you get into Frankenstein's monster, he was just a concoction. It wasn't his fault. When you get into Dracula, well, he was more cursed than anything else. When you get into a lot of these other stuff, the Wolfman and so forth, they're kind of victim of circumstance. However, when you get into the Invisible Man, this guy was already nuts even before he started shooting himself up. Just saying. The reason why I bring that up is because Tynion wasn't looking forward to doing any of these things when he was first. If you look back on one of the books, it kind of tells you in the back of the book, this story, he wasn't looking forward to doing any of this, and he was actually going to turn down to doing a Universal Monster story until they offered the Invisible Man and suggested that he take the helm on that one. He took it up because of the storyline that is the Invisible Man is a nutcase. He's not like the other monsters. That stated, he's not only doing a brilliant job in the storytelling of a classic monster story, but it leads me to what I'm going to end up going to in another book that succeeds what I'm describing now. Universal Monsters, The Invisible Man, issue number 4 comes out 11/26/2025, and it really did just miss out on being my most anticipated read. Moving out from that and staying in the same genre, same vein, same feel, and I believe same writer. Anyways, is Universal Monsters Dracula, Black and White, issue number 2. This is a miniseries all of its own, but also written, if I recall, by the same writer. And it wasn't because he wanted to do it. It was the incentive that he was receiving, the pure joy of what he was doing when he was doing the Universal Monsters, The Invisible Man, that they then considered doing Dracula. Again, because of its own reasoning, for that, you'd have to read in the back of the book. But that stated, it did allow me to really, because I wasn't going to pick this book up, but after I read how he was feeling about the Invisible Man, is the only reason why I ended up picking up the Universal Monster Dracula story, which in some regard was already told at a couple, series ago. This was a unique take, and it was done by a different writer, which gave it a different feel, and it is done in a different flavor because of the art. Just saying. Let's move on from Image, because we're done talking about the Universal Monster stuff. Both the Universal Monsters, Invisible Man, issue number 4, and Dracula, Black and White, issue number 2. And let's cruise over to Marvel, which gives us our last few books. Marvel Studios are going to first start off with Black Cat, issue number 4. I'm a sucker for Black Cat. What can I say? And the series is actually rather good. It's kind of cool. She's taken on a new helm, a new title, a new feel. She's always been kind of one of her own, doing her own thing. Not necessarily good, not necessarily bad, but she's kind of devoted herself to the best as she can. It seems like everyone's trying to do a Peter Parker mainstay. Everyone's trying to, adopt what would Peter do type mentality towards everything. That's kind of what we're getting with this Black Cat series, and I've been digging it. Let's move out from Black Cat issue number 4 and cruise over to Marvel Zombies Red Band issue number 3. This is a series that deserved the red band title. I've been loving it. It's been awesome. Can't get enough of it. Just saying. If you've been enjoying it like I have, you've been reading the monster zombie stuff in the past like I have, and you really enjoy this kind of feel and you don't take it too seriously like I'm not, then you're probably enjoying it as much as I am. Just saying it. This is actually a really cool and fun series. I've really been enjoying every word of it, and I can't wait to get my hands on issue number 3. Not to say that it was my most anticipated read, just saying it was up there in that top 5. Let's move up in the Marvel Zombies Red Band issue number 3 and talk about Mortal Thor issue number 4. This one really did also just miss out. The Immortal Thor that we got all the way up to, what was that issue? God, I want to say we got up to 30, just like with the next title I was talking about. We were doing an Immortal Thor. The idea of that Immortal Thor, and as it started out, we end up seeing the torture of a few people, one person in particular, but also in the background, we saw another individual hanging out. That's who is that little empty thing. And then also, as we got deep into the storyline, we end up seeing that Thor was no more as far as an immortal was concerned. He was no more godlike. And it was, I mean, this is the second time that he's not only been stabbed in the back by his brother, but the second time his brother stabbed someone else in the back and took out their whole timeline of what they're truly supposed to be and how they're supposed to be. Being that we're still so new in this Mortal Thor, and you haven't caught up yet, don't want to ruin too much, but essentially Thor has died as an immortal side. He's come back to Earth on a mortal side. There's no, spoilers there. We're pretty deep into, a few months down the road. That stated, the mantle, who he sees himself as, is slightly changed. He's considerably more brutal. He doesn't really take a whole lot in consideration when it comes to what could happen to him. He's just acting first, thinking second, and it's just amazing as far as this story is concerned. It's brutal. It's visceral. There's blood flying. It's not like the Thor that preceded it as far as on the Immortal is concerned, when he had the considerable ability to really do more damage. I'm just saying, I'm taken back by the storyline. I'm enjoying it, but nothing more than like I'm about to say now. Moving out from the Mortal Thor issue number 4, coming out on 11/26/2025. Let's move to this week's Blue Light special, which is Infernal Hulk issue number 1. I got a few of these, man, and I'm sure glad I did. If you read all the way up to issue 30, you know that essentially issue number 1 is really issue number 31 of the series of, well, they're calling it Infernal Hulk, but it was actually Immortal Hulk. Anyways, who cares about these titles? What I'm getting at is Mother didn't rise. And the only way that Hulk could open the door and his skin can be utilized to do so is the mortal aspect of him had to be ripped out. Banner was removed from the Hulk. We are now getting a Hulk story without Banner attached to Hulk directly. It was wild. I highly recommend, if you're remotely into a Hulk story, holy damn. You can carry on from here and understand what's going on. I recommend that you try to find the last arc. That will kind of carry you on, because everything that was happening before that, it was Hulk taking care of, and Banner, excuse me, taking care of a kid. I'm sure she's going to come back into the storyline, but as it says right now, this is way beyond that. Infernal Hulk is a thing of its own. It's no longer just a Hulk. It is a combination of a thing and him. And Banner, I've yet to see what happened. I can't wait to get in this book. I am telling you, once this thing ends, I'm getting into that book. So without further ado, I appreciate each and every single one of you that cruise on through. Christina, hey, I hope you're doing well, and I appreciate you cruising on through and dancing with me, Jag, and Fishcat, and anyone else that I may have missed. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for cruising on through. And until next week, that's it for me. Entropy. You stay well. Bye.